Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by silver mountains and rivers that sang softly at night, there lived a princess named Alara. She was graceful, kind, and wise beyond her years. The people adored her, for her laughter sounded like wind chimes, and her smile could warm even the coldest day. But Alara carried a secret that no one dared to speak of aloud. She was born without a shadow. When she stood in sunlight, the ground beneath her remained untouched by darkness. The royal scholars declared it a miracle, but the common people whispered that it was a curse. They said no human could live without a shadow, that it meant she belonged not to earth, but to some world beyond. Her mother, Queen Seraphine, loved her dearly but grew fearful for her safety. "My darling," she would whisper, brushing Alara's golden hair. "Some gifts are misunderstood. Stay in the light and never wander into the dark." So the princess stayed within the golden palace walls, surrounded by sunlight, yet feeling lonelier than the moon. As she grew older, Alara watched her reflection in the mirror, seeing perfection that felt incomplete. "Why me?" she would whisper. "Why was I made different?" The court painters captured her beauty, the poets sang her praise, but no one noticed the ache in her heart. She longed to dance under moonlight, to walk freely among her people, but everywhere she went, eyes followed her. Not with love, but with wonder tinged by fear. Children whispered, "She has no shadow." Mothers pulled them close, and the princess smiled as if she didn't hear. One night, sleepless and restless, Alara left her chamber and wandered into the royal garden. The air shimmered with moonlight, and the roses glowed pale silver. Above, the sky spread endlessly, jeweled with stars. She looked up and whispered, "If I am not meant to belong here, then tell me, where do I belong?" And as if the heavens heard her cry, a single star flared brighter than all others. It broke free and streaked across the sky, leaving a trail of silver dust. Alara covered her eyes, and when she opened them, a figure stood before her, surrounded by light. He was tall and radiant, with eyes that shimmered like starlight reflected on still water. His hair flowed like liquid silver, and his voice was soft as the wind in the trees. "I am Lior, the Star Maker," he said. "And you, princess, have called me." Alara stepped back, trembling. "The Star Maker? But why would the heavens send you to me?" He smiled gently. "Because you are one of us." Alara's breath caught. "One of you? I am no star. I bleed, I breathe, I am human." Lior shook his head. "You are both. Long ago, your mother prayed to the stars for a child. Her tears reached the heavens, and one of my kind, a star near to dying, gave its final light to grant her wish. You were born of that light, but every gift from the stars carries balance. Your light could not be joined with its shadow. It was left behind, in the realm of darkness." Alara's eyes filled with tears. "Then I am only half a person." "No," said Lior. "You are whole but incomplete to your own heart. To find peace, you must reclaim your shadow." He took a pendant from around his neck, a crystal glowing softly, and placed it in her palm. "Follow where it leads. When it burns brightest, your shadow will be near." Alara stared at the pendant as it pulsed like a heartbeat. "And if I fail?" Lior's light dimmed slightly. "Then you will forever be only what the world chooses to see, a miracle or a monster." And with that, he vanished into starlight. At dawn, Alara dressed in a plain cloak and slipped from the palace gates. For the first time, she walked beyond the walls, through meadows, forests, and valleys no royal feet had ever touched. The crystal glowed faintly, guiding her north toward the whispering desert, a land where the wind carried voices of the forgotten. Travelers spoke of illusions and spirits that fed on loneliness. For days she wandered beneath the scorching sun. At night, the stars seemed closer, as if watching her. Her feet blistered, her throat burned, but she pressed on. On the fifth night, she reached a valley of obsidian sand. There, the pendant flared so brightly it hurt her eyes. "Alara!" A voice whispered from the darkness. She turned, and from the shadows rose a figure, her own shape, but darker, colder, its eyes gleaming with sorrow and anger. "I am what you left behind," said the shadow. "You lived in light while I lay buried in the dark." Alara's heart pounded. "I never meant to abandon you." "Lies," hissed the shadow. "You are the beloved princess, the golden one, and I am the fear people whisper about." It circled her like smoke, its voice full of pain. "Do you know what it feels like to be unseen? To be the darkness no one wants?" Tears slipped down Alara's face. "Yes," she said softly. "I have lived among people who refused to see me. Only the miracle, never the soul." The shadow paused. For a moment the wind fell silent. "Then you understand," it whispered. Alara held out her hand. "Come back to me. We are one, light and dark, joy and sorrow. I need you." The shadow hesitated, then touched her fingertips. A surge of warmth flooded through her body. Pain and peace intertwined. The desert wind howled, swirling light and darkness together. When the storm cleared, Alara stood alone. But now, a soft outline of a shadow stretched at her feet. For the first time in her life, she felt complete. When Alara returned home, the palace bells rang. The people gasped when they saw the princess with a shadow, proof that she was no longer cursed. Flowers bloomed in her path, and sunlight danced upon her hair. Her mother wept and embraced her. "My child, what happened?" "I found what I had lost," Alara whispered. "And I found myself." That night, she stood on the palace balcony. Lior appeared once more, shimmering faintly among the stars. "You have done well," he said. "You understand now that light cannot exist without darkness." Alara smiled. "And darkness cannot be feared, for it is only the other half of the light." Lior nodded. "The heavens will always watch over you. But remember, princess, when the world grows blind with brightness, be the one who reminds them to see the shadow too." Then he lifted his hand, and from the sky fell a shower of silver dust. Each spark turned into a glowing flower that took root across the kingdom. From then on, the land of Alara was known as the Valley of Two Lights, where day and night were both beautiful. Years passed, and Alara became queen. Her rule was unlike any before. She taught her people that every heart carried both sun and shadow. She built schools for children who were different, sanctuaries for the broken, and gardens where flowers bloomed under moonlight as well as sun. She decreed that on the first night of every new year, the lights of the palace be dimmed so that all could look upon the stars, remembering that even in darkness, light was born. When people spoke of her, they no longer called her the princess without a shadow. They called her Alara, the queen of light and shade. And somewhere high above, a single star always shone brighter than the rest, the star maker watching over her with pride. Years later, when Alara grew old, she walked once more into the palace garden where she had first met Lior. The roses glowed silver under the moon. "My time is near," she whispered to the wind. "Will the stars remember me?" And as if in answer, the sky burst open with light. A single star fell, slow and graceful, just as it had long ago. It landed softly beside her, forming a figure of shimmering silver. Lior smiled. The stars never forget their own. He extended his hand, and Alara took it. As their fingers touched, her shadow merged with his light, and together they rose into the night sky, two luminous souls returning home. From that night on, people said that a new constellation appeared above the valley. Two stars twined together, one silver, one dark, and they called it the Queen and the Maker. And every child born in that kingdom learned this. Light and darkness are not enemies. They are dance partners in the story of the stars.